The Story of Us. Once upon a time, there were two kids. These were no ordinary kids. They were Jesus-loving world changers. They had dreams to heal the sick, bring joy to the brokenhearted, and play with orphans. They were radical and totally head over heels in love with Jesus. And they had no idea that the other person existed. Until Mazama Bible Camp. She was a counselor, and he led worship. And they became fast friends. They went treasure hunting, bike riding, sang worship songs and prayed, drank coffee, thought up ways to change the world, played games, went on random adventures, and enjoyed the days of summer. And then she left for college. But whenever she came home, they would hang out, talk to psychics and carnies, catch up on life stories over D&M coffee, and talk about their dreams of sharing Jesus with the world. And then everything changed. Thanksgiving rolled around and she brought some friends home. They said he was in love with her. But she knew it was impossible. He was obsessed with Jesus. Why would he pay attention to her? Besides, she wasn't going to get married until she turned 27. So she took it upon herself to make sure he knew that they were just friends. So on her first night home for Christmas break, they went to dinner. And she told him about her boy problems at school, and how she wished guys and girls could be friends without someone getting the wrong idea, the same way they were just friends. And so they stayed just friends. They hung Christmas lights, discussed baby names, drank gingerbread hot cocoa, went for midnight walks in the snow, spun donuts in a parking lot, talked about God, played board games, bought ugly Christmas sweaters, sang and danced for Christmas Eve service. And avoided talking about the fact that they were falling in love. He was moving to California, and she had to finish school. It could never work. Besides, they couldn't tell if the other person even liked them back, and they had more important things to do, like change the world. He picked out her Christmas present. Now he'd be impossible to forget. Saying goodbye was the hardest thing she'd ever done. Thank goodness for Skype. And direction from God. On 1/7/13, he asked her out, and she said, "Really?" And so began the best adventure of their lives. They made plans to see each other, and he surprised her with a rose and the best hug of her life. They held hands, walked to a gas station, sat in the middle of a road, and chilled in a hotel stairwell. Goodbye came much too soon. Valentine's Day rolled around. He said, "I love you" for the first time in a song he wrote just for her. A month later, they finally got to see each other again, and they shared their first kiss. The weeks between visits seemed to drag on, but they kept themselves entertained with silly Facebook posts, phone calls every night, and sweet surprises. Finally, it was time for another visit. They spent the day in Leavenworth, and then headed back to the Berg. She met his parents, he sang, she danced, they hung out with relatives, hunted for Easter eggs, and he joined the family picture. They were completely in love. Saying goodbye was impossible, but they served a God who specializes in making impossible things happen. Their times apart were full of adventures and fun, but they missed each other like crazy, and their nightly phone calls never seemed long enough. There are no words to describe the feeling of a hug from your best friend after weeks apart, so I'll show you. The week-long visit consisted of laughter, good food, hanging out, and just being together. Once again they said goodbye. This would be their longest time apart yet. While separated by distance, they dreamt about their future, swapped stories from their days, signed up for a conference, and decided 2 years of long-distance dating just wasn't going to work for them. She decided to move to California. Their next visit was a happy one, full of friends, silliness, children, worship, growing sponges, driving, blackberries, and deep conversations, but seriously lacking in picture-taking. Oh well, they'll make up for it next time. Another goodbye, sad but bearable, because next time she came, it would be to stay.